Hello everybody and welcome to One Player Today, a countdown. And before we start, I want to offer my sincerest gratitude and thanks to the folks who have subscribed to the channel. This is my 1 year YouTube anniversary, and so I thought it'd be fun to go through the top, well, I was going to do top 10, but some of them are the same because I've got multiple videos playing the same game, but top 7 best games on the channel. This is purely by views, so do with that what you will. This isn't necessarily the best game, and it's not necessarily the game that the most people like. It's just the video that's been watched the most. So maybe it's the most entertaining, or maybe it's just best at the algorithm. I don't know, but here we go. 6 top games from the past 12 months, basically 2019. I hesitate to do a game of the year because, I don't know, it's just, there's a lot that goes into that. So we're just going on views and view count alone. Let's get into it. As I said, this would be a top 10, but some of the games are duplicates. And one of the games, or the first game on the list, is one of the games that I've played multiple times on the channel. It is Welcome To. And this is a game I picked up probably about 3 or 4 months into 2019. It's a roll and write, if you're not familiar. Or kind of a card and write. So there's cards, there's various symbols. We draw on the neighborhood map and lay out our perfect neighborhood and score various points for doing that based on how well we can arrange our homes, how many pools we can get, how many parks we can get on one street, etc., etc. This, got to give a mention because it kind of busted open the roll and write genre for me. I'd never been a massive, I guess I'd just never been exposed to it too much before this. But there's so many fantastic print and play and very, reasonably priced other roll and writes, which I think this kind of just like springboarded me into. So kudos to Welcome To, because now I'm playing 30 rails and all sorts of other board game geek contraptions that are just great and so much fun and really easy to take with you. Pieces. All you need is a piece of paper and a couple of dice. Usually, this has a deck of cards, but still, fantastic game. I've really enjoyed this. Coming in at number 7, Welcome To. Number 6. This could be, well, to be frank, this was the first video that I ever posted to the channel. Ascension, the deck building game. It's a classic. I mean, or at least I think it's reached that kind of classic cult status where it's kind of on everyone's game shelf. And probably if it's not, then make sure it is. This is obviously a deck building game. Came slightly after Dominion. Obviously, that was the big daddy of deck building card playing shenanigans. But Ascension is up there. It's got its what is this, 3rd edition? So yeah, Ascension. This is a deck builder. So as I just said a million times, you have your kind of standard deck of starter cards, which you then build up with various monsters and constructs in order to build the best, most powerful deck you possibly can. Now this is a multiplayer game with a solo mode. Much like the previous Welcome To, there's a multiplayer and then a dedicated solo mode. This also has the dedicated solo mode, which makes a lot of sense for games appearing on this channel. And we fight against an AI. You're not supposed to be in there. We fight against an AI which is consistently taking more cards than we are. That's pretty much how it goes until our deck gets good, and then it's pretty easy to overtake them in that regard. But simple AI, really quick to set up. All you need is you've got your kind of separated decks here, the massive pile of cards you can build from, and then your kind of standard heavy infantry and mystic cards that get you extra points as well. And you're good to go. Really easy. You can kind of play it anywhere. It comes with a board, which is really cool, and I enjoy the board. I think that they're neat, and it's easy to lay things out or whatnot. But great. Into it. This, as I said, the first game I ever posted on this channel, so it probably makes sense that it's got the most views just given longevity. But yeah, there it is, Ascension, number 6. Now we're into our top 5, things are heating up, and, well, it makes sense that the foundation of the top 5 pyramid, if you will, is, well, it's a gargantuan, it's a behemoth, it's Gentes, sorry, I'm still working on that. It's Gentes from Tasty Minstrel Games. This is the deluxeified version that got fulfilled through Kickstarter last year, that's 2019, and goodness me, it is deluxe. I mean, this game is beautiful, it's tactile, it's rewarding, it's just wonderfully organized and fantastic to look at and hold and touch, and giant meeples and tokens everywhere. There's hundreds and bloody hundreds of cards down here and little cities and God knows what else. And yeah, that's what more can I say? Gentes is a Euro game, again with a dedicated solo mode. It does have that dedicated solo play where you're kind of playing against an AI. But really, most of the decisions are still up to you. There's no one really getting in your way except yourself in this game, and that happens to me a lot. But really, you're the master of your own rise or indeed downfall, depending on your choices. You know, it's kind of struck me over my several plays of this over the last year, how few turns you actually get. You know, you're blocking off, you know, these 5 turns at the end of your player board already. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 turns. So seven turns maybe per round, and 6 rounds I think it is. So there's not a lot of short chance if you go wrong to really rescue your game. And I've seen some phenomenal solo scores out there posted on the forums and whatnot, of folks just absolutely smashing it, and I haven't quite got there. I've had better scores than the game I posted on YouTube, that's for sure. As it usually, you know, as it sometimes goes, I didn't necessarily capture my finest moment, but yeah, what a game. Downside, obviously, it is a bit of a table eater. It takes a long time to get set up. There is a lot of fiddly pieces. If that's your kind of thing, Gentes might be your kind of thing. If you like setting up little miniatures everywhere and sprawling tokens and meeples and all that kind of stuff, yeah, good shout. Build your civilization, build your Gentes, there you go. And yeah, number 5. Number 4, and something rather smaller in comparison, it's Crypt. I can fit it in the palm of my hand. This was another Kickstarter fulfilled, I believe, right at the start of 2019, I want to say. Maybe even Christmas 2018, but I can't quite remember. Anyway, Crypt, this is a dice bidding game. There's a really interesting mechanic in this, and I think that's probably why the video did so well, is because it's quite unique. And so there's not a lot of, I think, playthroughs and videos showing you how to play it, especially the solo mode, which pitches you against the ghost of the dead king, trying to claim his treasure. Really, really cool mechanic where you roll, you can save your rolls, and bid up against the AI, who has this like auto bid function, which works surprisingly well. You know, and especially obviously, you know, it's dice involved, so there's a little bit of luck. There's a little bit of there's no bluffing clearly against the computer, the machine. But what it lacks in, you know, psychological prowess, I think it really makes up for in this, you know, really interesting mechanic. The kind of the it's just something that I've never seen before in a game, to bid the way that you bid, to steal the dice that you can steal, etc. So what a wonderful little game. I mean, it's a tiny little box, and that gets extra points for me. Again, dedicated solo mode, so 1 to 4 players. I have played it multiplayer as well, and it's a lot of fun. You know, that bluffing element does come into it, and that kind of hiding your cards against the opponents kind of comes into it, keeping your secrets, keeping your cards close to chest, if you will. And yeah, I don't know. Crypt. This was your number 4. Insert epic music here. It's the top 3. And, well, what's more fitting than tiny epic defenders? This is, again, one of the earlier games that I put through on my channel. So potentially this is just because of longevity that it is one of my top videos. But also, I think there's a lot of interest in this series. I mean, I think split between the tiny epic defenders, tiny epic galaxies, tiny epic western, I want to say. There's a lot of choices that come through with Gamelin Games as kind of tiny series. So I think it makes sense that people are looking for an idea of what the game actually entails. This was the first tiny epic title to include these little item meeples, where you get little meeples with holes in them that you can stick cool fantasy items to. Pretty neat and kind of gimmicky, but I really liked it. Nice little wooden tokens too. So the pieces and the artwork are really neat. I found the game, if I'm like brutally honest, I found it quite frustrating, especially solo. I have not played this multiplayer, but I found it quite frustrating. It was very difficult to be able to get to do what I wanted to do, or even what I knew I should be doing. Just given the restrictions on movement and the very few actions that you can earn per turn. It's a very restricting game. With that said, the formula works. Get here, stop something bad happening, go back to the other place, stop something bad happening there, make sure that nothing terrible happens to the most important place. I guess your hometown in this regard. And so I see the upsides of it. I see the benefit of the game. I see the excitement in it too. I mean, it's tense. There is some tenseness to it. Tensity? Intensity? No, tenseness. Yeah, there's some tenseness to it. As the epic foe rises further and further up the deck, ready for you to face eventually, once you're passing through it all as terrible, terrible minions. There can be some nervous moments, and I like that. I like that about this. This is your number 3, the fantasy cooperative game Tiny Epic Defenders. Number 2, and well, I'm not surprised. After totting up the votes, it makes sense that Star Realms was going to have to feature on this list, didn't it not? This has been probably my most played game over the last year or so. Even when I feel like I've had enough of it, I come back to it and I love it. Even when I think I'm done, I've found all the ways to play it that I think I can. I find something new, and like the synergy of the cards that I wasn't expecting, all these type of different little things that just add together to make this like immensely replayable deck building game. It's just brilliant. I mean, it's just brilliant. There's, similar to our number 7, right? Back to Ascension. You're starting off, it's a regular deck builder. So you're starting off with your crappy hand, trying to make it better. But the twist in this Star Realms Frontiers is that rather than playing against a single, solitary, static AI, you're able to play against these kind of epic challenge cards, these stories, if you will, which get told in the rulebook as these, epic clashes between you and usually a concentrated faction, but sometimes not, sometimes just a giant space beast. And they're all different. All the bosses act different ways, they play in different ways, some are exceedingly aggressive. The blob will just try to smash you as quickly as it possibly can, and it will. Whereas, what's the other one I was thinking? Yeah, the dimensional horror, it's not necessarily, it's not smashing it, it creeps up, it gains strength without you really noticing. It's a really interesting boss to face. And so all of these are very different, very, not a lot alike, and that gives it, again, this immense replayability just to keep on going. I still, and this is don't tell anyone, but I still haven't made it through all of these. I just keep playing the same ones because they're so darn fun. But that being said, if you check the channel, look for the playlist, and all of these were arranged in a nice Star Realms Challenges consortium for you. So Star Realms Frontiers, of course it was going to appear, and of course it was going to appear close to the top of the list. Probably, yeah, one of my favorite games, maybe ever, but especially that I've been playing and playing on this channel for you guys. And yeah, I've got no more to say about it. Star Realms Frontiers, if you don't have it, go and get it. And even download it. You can get it on your iPhone or your iPad or you can get it on Steam. Neat. Star Realms Frontiers, number 2. Okay, so long-time viewers of the channel, but, well, I say long time, it's only been a year, but long-term viewers of the channel, I'll just say it anyway, will know my trials and tribulations with this next game. It is certainly the most popular, by far and away the most popular video and videos that I have put together for one player, and that is Lord of the Rings, the card game. This game is wonderful. It's kind of a deck builder, but not really, because you're building your deck on cards that aren't necessarily already in the box. You kind of have to go and collect them from other places, like, you know, the internet and eBay. But what you are doing, and with faithful recreation to the original stories, the original characters, is essentially pitting a small band of heroes, namely characters that you would probably recognize from the books. Legolas here, Gimli is on top. I'll try and find another one. Oh, here's Gandalf, so you know that guy's in here too. I think he's in here 4 times, because that makes sense. But yeah, you're pitting your small band of heroes against some insurmountable foe. I mean, I'll just go ahead and say it. It is bloody hard, and that cruelty, that brutality with which the computer, the AI, the game, whatever you want to call it, acts out against you is really, it's punishing. And that makes for a really brilliant game. It really does. If you want to get, if you're a bit of a masochist, you want to get beat around the head while you're playing board games, this is your guy. It is really hard. With that said, it's not impossible, and as I mentioned before, the plethora of expansion content, extra cards you can buy, extra decks you can buy, even the extra challenges you can buy, provide this kind of wide-ranging, this wide range of challenges from, more, I'm not going to use the word easy, more straightforward to, just fighting with one arm tied behind your back. There's a big scope of difficulty to be included, and there's things you can do to balance the game as well. This game has been my most watched this year, and I know why. I think it's brilliant. It's got it's got a story in there almost. It's got this it's got a reason for being. It's got this storyline element. It's got characters that we all know and love. It's got great combat. It's got cool baddies. I mean, if you're gonna pull the Necromancer's Reach, then fight the Misty Mountain Goblins, fight the Wargs. Yeah, take out this awful goblin sniper. I'm trying to find the hill troll that I faced in the last video I played of this. Oh my goodness, he just smushed me into the ground. It makes sense. The bad guys, the good guys, the story, the epic story. And this is one player's #1 game of the past year. Again, not my best game of 2019, or obviously it wasn't released in 2019, so I'm not gonna give it that title. But this is the game that you lot like the most, like to watch me play the most, like to watch the most of. That is going to be it from me. Again, a heartfelt thanks to the folks who have stuck around, subscribed, clicked the like button, left me comments. I read every single one. There's not that many. So I read all of them, and I try to reply to all of them too. And I love hearing from you guys. If if a video helped in any way, or even if I just mess up, even those are okay. Those comments are all right as well. I could take it on the chin. And it's not uncommon. So I really do appreciate you sticking around. I really want to keep creating videos, keep playing games through 2020 and beyond. And I hope you'll join me. If you have not, and you're seeing this video somehow off the YouTube search screen, give it a go. There'll be a video probably popping up around here somewhere at some point pretty soon, and why don't you give it a click? Have a watch, see what you think. Watch me play one of these games, one of these top 7 games that everyone else thinks is just the bee's knees, and then feel free to go ahead and subscribe. That is gonna be it from me. Thank you so much for watching. It's much appreciated. Happy YouTube-iversary to all of you out there from me, and until the next time, I will see you later.